Second there, in the midst of talking, I lost my chat. So I'm assuming I'm streaming back live again, but one of them things where when the conversations gets real good, something always happens. Something always happens. Let me see if I'm on. Nope. Let me go back here. So assuming that I'm streaming again. Okay, so it looks like I'm back on. So once again, I apologize for the interruption, but I didn't do nothing. I'm just minding my own business. And as always, if you guys haven't noticed a trend, whenever the conversations get really good, that's when things start acting up. But I was in the middle of saying something, and I was rudely interrupted. So, assuming we got a couple people back here. So, once again, I apologize for the hang up. I'm in the midst of talking. Software just died on me. So, it's not nothing to do with my end, man. I think I'm good, but it's just, for whatever it is, don't press that button. That's life, Mike. Here I am. We live. So we back on again. Once again, I was in the middle of something I thought was very informative. I was enjoying talking about it, but I'll get back on it briefly because someone asked a question in the prior stream, and so I'm trying to figure out, should I do a reintroduction again? Hey there, this is Mike from RTD, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. Signing in for part 2 due to the fact that I was rudely interrupted by software that just stopped on me. But in the midst of my last chat, I was talking about the price of gold. Gold Ma. In the midst of my chat, I was talking about Venezuelan price of gold. And so, with that being the case, I'm gonna go back over it real quick. But in a nutshell, I pulled up this chart here. So basically, for 9.8 million of the old bolivars, you take those in and you try to get some new gold. You try to get some new bolivars. It'll be roughly 100 bolivars. So today you can acquire. So that's their new. This yellow is their new monetary system here, which is paper based. So it's not gonna work, but they try it anyway. So it's the highest note is 500, 200, 100. So as I always say, this is the second currency in 2 years. So this green one was done last year. The yellow one was done a couple months ago. So you guess how long this next one gonna last. I give it to spring. But anyway, so what this boils down to, according to their currency, for 100 bolivars, you can only get 1 gram. But say here, because we have the Royal Reserve currency, for roughly $50, you can get 2 grams for the price of 100, according to just the number aspect of their currency. So just something to think about. But that was a question, I wanted to answer it. I think that was a question. His question was, what was gold priced or whatnot in Venezuela? So according to information to share with us, basically, according to exchange, you can get 2 for the price of 1. So anyway, what else was I talking about? Man, it makes me angry that I was interrupted in the middle of my sentence. So it says, such a scam, Gold Ma. What is that? Let me see here. Gold Ma. What is that? Digitizing gold. Gold Ma. Gold Ma. Yes. So Gold Ma. Yeah. Tony, are you familiar with that? So that program there, to my knowledge, this gold mining asset out of Zimbabwe. The founder there is a gentleman I've been in contact with, and so we've had a couple conversations. And so, I couldn't call it a scam because I don't know anything about it. From having talked with him and kind of hear about what's going on there, it sounds like it might be viable. But here's the thing: this project here, because it's a security token, United States citizens can't purchase it directly. So basically, unless you're an accredited investor, you couldn't really do much with that anyway. So, it's one of the things where, for those that are accredited investors, if you like projects such as this, it could be good for you. No telling. But that's neither here or there. What else we got going on here? It says, how are rents ever even advertised 12-month terms? No clue. It says, what can you get with a Litecoin in Venezuela? I don't know. And so other than my my past guest who at that point was in Venezuela, Eduardo, he's currently now, he left, him and his family left because things was that bad for him. And so he was basically saying that Bitcoin was the gold standard in Venezuela, and then Dash, and then all the small projects that's in there, but not really as popular like Bitcoin. So I imagine if Bitcoin is there, then Litecoin is there as well. But Bitcoin is the gold standard for a lot of these countries here because it's the first one. So I don't know what you can buy there, but I imagine there's someone taking it. And then on another end, I have seen videos about places where you can accept Dash. You know, actually, they have a lot of retailers in Brazil for sure, and in Venezuela that actually have Dash accepted here, and they got the whole payment processing systems and whatnot. You go in, scan, and so people are using it more than anything else. So I'm not sure how, what, where, or stuff like that, but it is being used. What else we got here? So I'm gonna look at their old chat. Let me see here. Is the chat stream up to date? Let me try KG True. Let me try to update this chat because it looks like it's old. Old, is this up to date? Oops. Is this up to date chat? You mean communist wave? Get out of here. So I'm not seeing that. Oh, there we go. What we got here? It says, Mike, what percentage of crypto would you suggest for your portfolio? Patrick James, what percentage? I personally, not being able to give advice or, just my opinion or my thoughts, it always boils down to those 3 S's that I talk about. You need something to save, you need something to save, something to spend, something to speculate. And so how you break that down percentage wise is probably, however, whatever works best for you and whatever you believe will have the biggest upside in the future. And so spending, of course, you want to redeem the paper notes as much as you can, as well as save some of those for emergencies and whatnot. But then when it comes to saving, you save. I save a little bit of paper, but save more things that are tangible and, worthy of my time and energy long term. Hence, the get your weight up aspect, and then speculating. Using some of those papers to acquire some of these companies out here, these projects out here in the form of these this blockchain stuff. And so it's all more so what you comfortable with and what you are able to lose. So no actual percentage of 5%, 10%. I don't get into all that. That's more advice. It's more so whatever your education in whatever sector will allow you to feel comfortable when you sleep at night. I believe, Patrick. Says families from Venezuela, 1 ounce gold can pay for 4 months rent. Edward, really? That's interesting. So here's a question, Edward, for your family in Venezuela, because Eduardo, my past guest, who was in Venezuela, no longer there, he referenced the fact that most people don't actually have access to get gold, and even this gold savings program that is being rolled out right now, you can't take physical possession for the first year, but you got a certificate. So people still don't have physical gold. So with that being the case, do people actually have gold in their possession there? It says, I've seen a Big Mac meal with 35,000 bolivars. Yeah, 35,000 bolivars. And I think the 35,000 bolivars, and I want to say the minimum wage that the government gives for those that are on government subsidies, I want to say was 8 million bolivars a month, I think. Yeah, something like that, 8 million bolivars. So if that 35,000, not sure what time frame it was, so 8 million bolivars a month, you can get, let me see, that's 3, you can get 24, you could probably get about 22, 23 Big Macs for the month if all those numbers line up. It says Zimbabwe has never has new gold back cryptocurrency back crypto. Yeah, show me. Hey, Tony, show me some information on that one. And what does it look like? Okay, you know what it is? Why does it look like I got the wrong chat going on up here? Because the questions seem delayed. My questions are delayed. It says, what precious metals are actually doing in Venezuela, Argentina right now? It says that's what they said about Obama 10 years later. Crickets. So yeah, so I'm looking at a different chat. Let me close this out because no wonder I'm up here looking at the wrong. I'm up here looking at the wrong chat. No wonder I'm not in the conversation. What else? I've been missing a lot of newer questions. I burn money before trusting a African country with it. It says, yeah, JP Morgan just came out with the cryptocurrency backed by gold. I hear people saying that. Somebody share a link with us in the chat here so I can actually check that out. It says gold, generational wealth, trading your silver for transacting. I wouldn't, death by debt, I wouldn't go that far as far as trading into silver, because silver is just more, I think silver in the long run is going to be more precious than gold, because physical gold will not circulate flat out because of its rarity and the fact that it's a government currency. You know what I'm saying? Like central banks hold tonnage. Apart from jewelry, small coins and whatnot, it's not going to be circulating. They're not gonna have ships going back and forth transferring gold to settle international payments like they did 100+ years ago. So they're gonna have tokenized gold, to where China is gonna have a currency denominated backed by gold that they're gonna be able to exchange with. So physical gold won't move as much, but I can see silver possibly being moved in small coins or fractional gram type silver. But once again, it won't really move because people won't feel comfortable carrying silver or gold because of how precious it will be in comparison to everything else. So they're going to use a tokenized version of those metals. So I don't actually see physical metals actually moving anytime soon because people ain't going to want to get up off those things. You answered my question. What is that? It says, Tony, what question is that? It says, unfortunately, you don't get true information because the U.S. censors everything. Missed the question. I keep hearing silver will buy you X amount of food, but is this true? Who would be able to buy an ounce of silver off of you? Yeah, so that's going to go into that the barter side of things. Like based upon what we're hearing about in other countries, people will either barter or exchange services directly, or don't forget that along with this whole blockchain stuff, there's platforms now where you can go on there and exchange. If you are good fixing cars, you can go on there and exchange services in the same manner of currency, where once you complete the task, you click send or something and it shows up on their end and they can send you their so it's going to be some new inventions that will make this our current way of thinking, it's going to make it appear outdated, because everything we're talking about now is based upon the prior system of actually having exchange, either paper or swiping our card. Next, we're going to use QR codes heavily off our phones individually, or here's what most people don't pay attention to, is that we're being conditioned to use smartphones to scan our whole face now. And so we will eventually walk up to a machine, stand there, and it's going to go whoop, whoop, scan your face, and then you just put in 25 whatever coins, hit send, and you don't need to carry anything because your face is going to be the payment method. So that's where all this stuff is heading. Because I'm pretty sure the U.S. doesn't censor anything compared to China, etc. The media are censored, i.e. YouTube. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and I think, and that's why I enjoy sitting behind this, computer talking to you guys, because I would rather hear your opinions and hear your side of the story than I would, Fox, CNN. I would rather listen to and watch this chat than sit behind or sit in front of a TV and watch somebody read off a teleprompter some pre-scripted words that the same station on the other side of town is reading the same damn script. So with that being the case, I'm saying that the information that's being shared here this is all community-based information here. We all know that something's wrong. We all know that, we're not being told the truth by anyone else. So it's our responsibility to find it for ourselves and then share it with one another in a positive way of just educate and inform one another. So that's why I enjoy doing this, because, I believe you guys more than I believe them people. Says, vote Dem if you want to be a slave. Vote for Democratic Party. It says, I'm glad for it, blessed to watch. Farmers will trade for silver. One day when you go to a local coin dealer, they will pay you in crypto. I don't doubt it. I imagine more and more bullion dealers online are accepting cryptos, because it's easier, it's convenient, or it's can be, and it saves on fees, because you use Visa, you got to pay what, 2%, 3% of each sale. Why would you continue using an outdated service like that? Other than the fact it's just set up and it's ready to go. Says, what is this? Google. Jeff, what link is that for? Google.com AMP live. Okay, yeah. So I pulled that up. I pulled that link up earlier in reference to the whole tokenization. So I think from what I glanced at, JP Morgan will be funding this Ethereum powered blockchain project. I don't think they're going to be running it directly. They're just the financiers. Investment bank is using a blockchain crypto to tokenize. The system enables such sustainable miners to earn a premium. So according to our historian, JP Morgan has created Quorum and an enterprise version of the Ethereum blockchain. As such, it offers the use of smart contracts to use. Although blockchain technology was designed to instant and cheap, remember the bank is using it to manage global liquidity and to create crypto assets. Interesting. So they are. So I would imagine that they acquired this company as opposed to started themselves, because I don't see them being the ones that are capable of doing it, apart from the fact they can afford it. But it'll be interesting to see, because it's clearly, I don't think it's going to trade amongst the public. It's going to be simply as I said, gold mining for liquidity around the world type of stuff. So yeah, so here's more evidence that, once you have JP Morgan, who last year Jamie Dimon was talking about, if anybody buy Bitcoin, I'm gonna fire them, to now they're funding and running their own blockchain based token. So yeah, this is where this stuff is heading, man. And so all this is setting up for an interesting time as we draw towards the end of this year and into the next year, as the old archaic financial system comes towards a halt or a hiccup. And so that they're positioning themselves to where they'll be able to get right into or continue on making profits in a new sector altogether. So that's just my thoughts on the matter. What else we got going on in the chat here? It says, a man no for bankruptcy. Man no for bankruptcy. Have you tried to sell palladium to a coin dealer? Haven't found one to take it yet. Yeah, I've never really been into palladium, so I don't know about palladium. It says, do you think Trump was made president to preside over U.S. bankruptcy and restructuring of the U.S. debt? Was he made president? I think he became president off of the fact that his speech and the rhetoric that came from his mouth prior to as a presidential candidate was very appealing to the masses, because they are tired of the status quo, and the fact he called out so many people during his campaign speeches saying that, we're in a big fat ugly bubble. And what I'm still waiting to see is the whole special investigation into his opponents, or dealings and stuff of that nature. So he ran on making a lot of promises. And so has he lived up to those promises? I see a lot of shakeups taking place. So I'm comfortable with saying that based upon the stuff and the people he's pissed off, I'm okay with that, because I think it's actually good. It's good for our country that there's someone who's not status quo. There's someone who doesn't appear to be a bought and paid for individual that's playing president, as opposed to actually operating in the best interest of this country. And the fact that he calls himself a nationalist and wanting to seal off our borders, as opposed to the prior administrations with more open border policy. And the fact that the prior administration was more, TTPFD, globalists, let's come together as one party, one union. Whereas in this guy's saying, the new administration saying, the hell with that America first type stuff. That sounds good. So how that plays out, I don't know. Anywhere it go, because that America first rhetoric won't work for long, because America is only a big pile of debt. And once people stop accepting our debt, there will be no more America in the way that we know it now. So I think he will reside alongside this bankruptcy or restructuring of our current debt system, because I think if and how this China situation plays out, it could be something that could really ease some of the pain that's coming, or it can accelerate it. And what I mean by ease is the fact that if China says, okay, we're not ready yet, we'll continue this thing on, he may be able to get another presidential term out of this while they still going back and forth from tariffs. Of course, we'll feel it in the form of inflation over here, but it won't be a complete denial and denouncement of the dollar globally like it's on course to be now. And then the hard way would be China says, the hell with this, you're costing us, our economy is failing, let's start this damn thing over. We're gonna open up our vaults. We got 40,000 tons. You say you got 8. Show me your 8, and we'll see who got the biggest vaults. And then whoever got the biggest vaults will make the the biggest decisions. And it's good to say our vaults aren't big, and so we're gonna have to play along. And then that's gonna be the issuance of another currency here, because there's gonna be an international standard and there's gonna be a domestic standard like everyone else has. So think about this. Think about if everyone around this planet didn't have to have Federal Reserve notes or treasuries in their reserves. Because prior to Bretton Woods, the reserves were gold. And so people thought that the dollar was good as gold from 44 to 71. We ran up a tab, printed more notes, and now it's all notes and digits. So what happens when we no longer have the reserve currency and we have to play along, we have to play the same game that everyone else plays, and the fact that we have to have some type of reserves in order to do business with China, Russia, Europe, and it's not a dollar. That means we're going to have a domestic currency, and on top of that have some type of savings in our vaults that can do business outside. And that right there would be a complete shock, because all we know is the privilege of having the ability to fund and to run deficits the way we do. So it won't be pretty. It won't be pretty for anybody, Fred. Both parties are shady. I believe that. It says white nationalists are very evil, go socialists. See, that's the that whole color stuff, man. White, black, green, blue, purple. Red, white, blue. It's all about the green. Right now, the green is dying, so you better get you some gold. You know what I'm saying? Never mind all the other stuff. What else we got going on here? It's a pretty good chat, I must agree. So the question is, we got people online, and so let me see how many people got online, because it's get your weight up month, and so I wanted to do somewhat of give a opportunity to give away a gram of gold. And so we got about 40 people watching, 7 thumbs ups. And so we're drawn towards the end of this episode, because I'm well past my hour due to the fact that I'm starting. This is a second episode, so I got to figure out what the title of this. Excuse me. So if we can get in the next 3 minutes, 4 minutes, if we can get out of 41 people watching, if we can get 30 thumbs ups, flat out, I'm gonna set the bar high, because we got people in the chat watching. I'm participating or learning or just enjoying this. It's good back and forth, but not hitting the thumbs up. So if 30 people hit that thumbs up, I'm gonna throw out a question and do it the same way I did with James Anderson. I'm gonna give a question and give a countdown. If I see the answer in the chat, then you get a chance to to take home a gram. And so I wish I had my timer up here so I could time my 3 minutes. But anyway, so let me get this chat going. So we got 20 as of now. So if we get up to 30, we can make something happen. I'm gonna throw out a question and give you a little countdown, and the first answer that pops up, you win. Okay, said Edward, appreciate the thumbs up. And so, but it takes a party. It takes a group to have a party. And so I need 30 of them things. If I get 30 of them things, we can talk. I hit the thumbs up already. It says gold standard could be bad considering all central bankers will win in such a currency. As opposed to it being more spread out over 100 years ago. Why does nobody think of this? But here's the thing, like, beyond what the World Gold Organization tells us, we don't know who has what, but we do know that it's becoming public as to all of the governments, predominantly in the European area, the Scandinavian countries, that's all repatriating their gold from New York or from London. And then we know just based upon last 10, 15 years of all the countries that are increasing their reserves. So here's the thing, if all the countries are increasing their reserves, then they have enough to do business amongst themselves. And if it becomes a currency issue, which it will become, because all these countries are issuing, debt in the form of fiat currencies. So what that will do is they will have to eventually, in order to do business and to have their citizens trust, they're going to have to back some of those notes or give their citizens some type of reason to trust that those papers or whatever they try to issue to them has value. So it helps them to say, we got gold backing this up. And whether or not they say you can redeem it, probably not. But, that's why, it's up to you and I to, get our weight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. Like, I believe that if people were aware of what's happening now, and you were to take the action to just incrementally, small increments, get your weight up, do what they do, then you won't really be as concerned with how things play out to your household, because your household will be a little bit different than everybody else. And you're going to be more so wondering, how can you utilize your foreknowledge to put you in a position to be able to prosper in the times ahead. So on a national scale, we're going to have major problems. Majority of the population has no clue about what they're holding on, what they're saving, what they're banking on in the form of a retirement. Like, that's going to actually happen in the form of a currency. So by you being heavier now, you're positioning yourself as an insurance policy, as well as a hedge against your own country's monetary policy, which has proven to fail the people over and over and over again. So if you got enough weight in your possession, I'm sure you'll be more than happy in comparison to the fact that people around you may not have none. And all it takes is small increments that can make a big difference when the printing presses are running rapid, Just my 2 cents. But anyway, so let's get caught up in the chat. So we got 24 thumbs up. So it's one of them things where, if we get 30 thumbs up, just 6 more in between the next, minute and a half, I'm going to throw out a question and the first answer would get it. So I'm going to try to do one of these every night. So for those that are tuning in, make sure you guys remind me about the giveaway because I almost slipped my mind because I'm well over my hour time frame. So that being the case, it's been about 3 minutes. I was trying to help you get your weight up, as you see here. I was trying to help you guys get your weight up, but yet, for whatever reason, people don't want to have the chance at just guessing or using their knowledge to actually win a piece of gold. And so far, I've had 3 giveaways. I gave away silver. I gave away silver twice. I gave away a 1896 round to someone in Arizona. I gave away a 10-ounce bar to someone in Tennessee, and I gave away 3 Litecoins to someone, I don't know where they are, out west. So, I'm good for my word, people. I'm good for my word, you know what I'm saying? I hope you guys believe me there. But anyway, so with that being the case, you got this opportunity right here. Get your weight up, people. This is what it's about. The month of November is Get Your Weight Up month. All it takes is 1 click. You can acquire 1 gram for the cheapest price that I found on the internet from a company that I do trust because I do business with them directly. And so I've been a long time member of their program. So I've been, getting my weight up from them for a long time. And so I just, when I partner with them to bring this to you, I'm like, hey, my audience will definitely take advantage of it. So I trust that you will. And other than that, take one of these pictures here or the links down below, share it with your family and friends. We have Christmas coming up. Get your loved ones a gram. They'll be surprised. They'll probably wonder, what the hell you gave them a gram for. Then you can tell them why they need to get their weight up. If they don't believe you, who cares? They still got themselves a gram. So anyway, people, I'm calling it the end of the night. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's check in again tomorrow night, 9:30. I'll be on time tomorrow night. Other than that, people, peace. Get your weight up. Stay sane. Peace.